Hello, Curtis.
Hey, Bill Fowler. How's it going?
We are good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm relaxed. Yeah.
You went on holiday.
I went holidaying. No, that's not they say
Mhm.
that. They don't say that, actually. That's, can we cut that? I don't know. Anyways, I went
So
on holiday to Spain.
Canadians and Europeans, we say vacation like we vacate something.
Mm.
And then you say, I went on holiday, which you also say, I was in hospital, which is interesting. Like I would be like, I was in the hospital.
No, we talk like Americans. I say I'm going on vacation and I was in the hospital. I'm not.
Well, I'm glad that you were on vacation and not in the hospital.
Thank you.
But I'm mostly interested in what you were just saying as we were entering the prep stage of this podcast, which is episode 9 of Under the Hoodie. Can't believe we've made it this far. We're almost at double digits.
Man.
Have not been canceled and have not seen a sufficient decline in our viewership to what we look at each other and say we should not do this anymore.
Yeah.
Holding strong. Tell me about
5. Spain. Yeah, Spain was great. Warm weather. When I left Canada, it was minus 20 Celsius. I'm not going to convert that to Fahrenheit.
That's low. That's very cold.
Yeah, and then when I landed in Spain, it was like 20 degrees Celsius, and it stayed roughly that temperature the whole time. It was nice and sunny, so spent some time on the beach, ate some good food, tapas and paella and all that crap. It was great.
Yeah, and but the coffee is not good.
Oh yeah, I was saying the coffee in Spain is like, no offense to any Spanish people that may be listening. I don't know why. Your coffee's shit. I had 1 or maybe 2 good cup of coffees the whole time I was there, and I love a good espresso.
Yeah.
But man, we've been to Portugal a number of times. Their coffee is phenomenal in Portugal. Spain's got the kind of shit coffee. Amazing food. Portugal, food game week. So yeah.
I mean, you had more than one. You sampled more than 1 cup of coffee in Spain, I presume, to make this determination.
Multiple cups of coffee a day, 4
from different
5.
places. So you got
every time we'd walk around, I'd stop at a little cafe, have a little cup of coffee, have an Americano, espresso, whatever it is, and bitter, acidy. I'm not a coffee snob, but get your shit together, Spain.
Sounds like it. Well, glad you're back. Glad you made it home. I'm glad you said you were relaxed. That's good.
Yeah, drank a lot of wine, probably helped.
Did you? I noticed, because we have a work relationship, and I noticed that you and other people on the team said that you were able to unplug for a little bit, and I'm wondering, did you come back with a new perspective? I know you're like a plugged in guy, and it seemed like that you took some time to be with the family and not, be on Slack every waking minute of the day. I mean, do you use these moments kind of to just completely disconnect, or is this a time for you to kind of really look at what from a business perspective, from a technology perspective, or did you just I just want to stare at the sand?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So actually, this is the first time in 7 years I disconnected completely for about a week. So when I left, I just decided not to look at my email or Slack or whatever it was for a week, and it was nice, spend a lot more time with the family, got to play with the kids a lot more. I wasn't always mentally distracted, which is an interesting thing, but I guess for 7 years I have been mentally distracted. And then the second week I was in Spain, I decided to check my email and check Slack, and then I started getting a little mentally distracted, which was a mistake. I should have just turned it off and just waited till I got home. But yeah, it was good. It was nice. I think maybe I learned that I should not be on Slack 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Spend a little more time with my children.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you got re-energized, recharged. You got to relax a little bit. I apologize about the coffee. That's disappointing. But I have a topic to bring to you, and as I bring you this topic, we do also have a surprise special guest on episode 9. And they're late, but I'm not going to say late. I'm going to say that they are. They're going to be here when they can be here because they're really busy. They're really important. This person is a very big deal in the real estate industry. And the fact that they're going to grace us with their presence is gift enough and Punctuality, I'm not going to hold them to that. Let's just say. But when they show up, then we're going to change gears completely and talk about what I witnessed yesterday related to this person, special guest. But until then, I do have something that I would like to bring to you, and this
Yeah.
is related to vacationing /
Ooh.
holidaying. And it's a big topic right now in our industry. It is agentic artificial intelligence. The agentic aspect of AI is this much touted and much anticipated series of features that our friends, the Magnificent Seven companies who run this entire industry, have been talking about for since the inception of AI, which is the ability for a model to do things, execute.
Things it
And
wasn't trained on, though. I think that's what agentic, true agentic is, right? I could say, hey, Kurtis GPT, I don't know, go book me a flight to Kosovo. Does Kosovo still exist? I don't
it's yeah,
know. All right, there
beautiful.
we go.
Yeah,
Kosovo, yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, and it would go do without having actually been trained to do that. Um, I think that's what people are talking about when they talk about agentic AI. Right now, I think agentic AI it goes and uses either web scrape, like the models will use either web scraping or APIs to actually go accomplish tasks, which is cool. But they have to be fed those APIs and all that fun stuff, or go learn about themselves if in case of like open claw and all that fun stuff. But yeah, true agentic AI is just being able to talk to something and it goes and does it, which is,
Yeah,
it's coming probably.
it appears to be, but again, I think that these labels that are attached to AI when we see headlines
Yeah.
or when we imagine what the eventuality and everything always seems to be this is about to happen. Or, there's some grand update or, one of the models releases a new version and then it's supposed to be like this leap in feature set and the agency of AI models is always, the number one thing that people I, if, to narrow it down to where I was headed is I want it to do things I don't have time to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it to tell me how to do those things. I want it to go do them. And so I think those are two very different things. Here's the example I'll present to you. I am going on holiday / vacation next week, and I'm going to Ireland. And I've always wanted to visit the Jameson distillery. Not that I'm a big whiskey guy, but I've been to the Guinness place. And so now I kind of want to go to the next thing. So what I wanted to do is I got on ChatGPT and I was like, hey, help me out with this. And what I think I want to do is hey, I sent you a link. What I think I want to do, that's our special guest. Still a mystery.
Mystery.
But what I think I want it to do is I want it to say, here are the times to go, which it told me. Here are the best times to go according to the internet. You need to plan ahead, book ahead. Great. And then here's the website to go and book it. What I would kind of love it to do is to go book it. If you know the best times, if you know the website, if you know all that stuff, you can see my calendar. I'm connected with through, Google Docs and G Suite. Just go do it. And we're not there yet. And it even said, I can help you make a decision. I can help you know when to go. I cannot execute. And to me, that's the definition of agency, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's certain tools that you can use, like again, OpenClaw, it's a security disaster and stuff like that. But it is something that would be able to do that for you. But you have to have a little bit of tech mindset to get that installed and plug in all the API keys. And you don't know whether it's going to fuck up or not. Part of my language. But yeah, I agree. That is agentic. I mean, that's what we should be moving towards ideally. I don't know if the models are quite there yet. And I also don't know if the infrastructure is there or the financial aspect is there, right? Like these companies got to make money to do this stuff. Are they going to make money on agentic AI? Who knows?
Well, our consistent theme here is the things that we're excited about and things that we're scared of.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about this, I think we would be on the cusp of the thing that I am most excited about, which is I'm going to give OpenAI my credit card number, and it's going to go book me the perfect time based on my calendar at the Jameson Distillery in Dublin next week. That is the thing that I am most excited about. It is also, coincidentally, the thing that I am most terrified of, OpenAI having my credit card. Oh, look, there he
My
is,
God.
our special
Hello,
guest.
hoodie.
Nice. At least someone wore the hoodie.
I didn't pack a hoodie.
One of the Fowlers got it correct.
Hey
My
guys.
bad. Look, hey Matt, welcome. Welcome to Under the Hoodie, the 9th episode of the real estate industry's only AI focused podcast, which is probably not true. But I've been saying that for a long time. And if you say it long enough, it becomes true.
Hey, that
But
is
I'm
true.
sitting in Matt's house. Matt is sitting in Matt's house. He's my brother, and he is the CEO of Doorify, the most progressive MLS in the country right now, March 12th, 2026. Matt, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me, and thanks for coming to town for our event last night.
That's what we're talking about, Curtis. Um, and I'm gonna describe what the event was, but I also want to, like, Matt, I want you to take us on a tour of what I saw yesterday on your computer, which you were using this dashboard. I don't want to reveal too much of what your secret sauce is, but you are using AI in a way that I am envious of and will be replicating very quickly. But and
Hmm.
then to take that story into like what we saw yesterday afternoon and what you're doing at Doorify with an AI lean on how you're bringing value to your MLS subscribers.
Yeah, gosh, how much time do we have?
We had a lot of
Right.
time.
I've got to go talk to Huntsville in a little while here. But so we have these quarterly prop tech meetups in Research Triangle because there's just a lot of tech in Research Triangle Park, right? Everybody knows Research Triangle. And I realized how many prop tech startups were around when I met the bot built guys I was just telling you about who built the walls on the house we're in. And they were doing a raise and wanted to talk about prop tech. So we went out to get hors d'oeuvres and beer. And I got a Doorify banner and just started spreading the word that if you're a prop tech founder and you need sandbox data or you need, VC money or something, just guidance, we might be a path to market for you. We've actually brought a company from some guy I met all the way through to our dashboard. He was at the event last night. So we're trying to just be a catalyst for innovation. And in some of those rooms, one of those guys, the startup CEO, said, "Hey, investments are as low as 50 grand if you would want to do it yourself personally." And I thought, well, I think I do. And now I feel weird that other people didn't get to hear that. My board didn't hear that. The high wealth realtors at the top of the stack in my market who may want to do that too didn't get to hear that. So I wanted to figure out a way to create a few times a year, rolling into our big PropTechSouth.com event in November. Let's meet some people, identify some real opportunities here, both for investment and also for getting something transformational into the marketplace, like VoiceFlow or Real Reports or Easy Digs or OcuSell Tuesday, right? And so last night was the top 100 brokers by sales volume in the market. It included a bunch of builders too, because I wanted those people to be in the room and we heard 4 basic product pitches and the context that we put it in. Why does this have anything to do with AI? The context that we put it in is FBS released their MCP server access yesterday. They're doing this selectively to markets around the country. I don't know their model for that, so you have to talk to your FBS rep. But I gave access to some of my top people yesterday. And along with that file, or along with that access, which is the listing data, I gave them access to the Doorify MCP server that we're happy to announce. And the Doorify MCP server, has 8 endpoints or tools in it, which includes a rich set of engagement metrics, including our new about to be patent pending data, Doorify Momentum Index. So that lets you ask Claude a simple question. Hey, Claude, look at Spark and tell me about my listings. And then using this data the MLS gave me, how are my listings different than the top 100 listings in the market by engagement? and I can tell you what they do to get into the top 100. And by corollary, of course, is what is you're not doing that they're doing that you could do to get your properties listed. And we can
Yeah.
tell you,
What's
so we'll tell you a lot of
the,
stuff.
and those, uh, the markers of a listing that is popular and receives a bunch of engagement are not always intuitive, but the ones that are the easy ones, like give an example of like some of the things that you uncovered.
Floor plans get 4x more views. The big two that flew out though were photo and price management. So if you upload 100 photos and you never touch them, you're correlated in the bottom 20%. If you upload 100 photos and tomorrow you delete 10, upload 10 new ones, next day you delete 4, upload 5 new ones, you look at, you know, how they sit on Zillow or how they actually fall on the page on homes.com where you're getting the most traffic, and you might rearrange them so they look better on the screen. Doing that on a continual basis is highly correlated to high market performance. And of course, the big one is price. So our price analysis that we just use Claude to, put this in a tabular data system, tell me what you see here. What are the insights and correlations that you see? And it came back and said, well, overpriced properties just don't sell, right? So they just hit stale and they die. But properties who are a bit overpriced and then you knock them down a little and a little more and a little more and a little more, 10, 15, 20 times over a 30 to 40 day marketing period, those properties sell. So there are things you can do to keep your properties from falling off into stale. And we break engagement into quintiles. We like studying in fifths. So 68% of our listings are in the bottom quintile right now. So most people's listings are dead. They're not getting looked at anymore. Yeah. Right. So you're not doing anything to them. So they're going to stay dead. They'll die when the contract is over. And what I'm doing is when you log into the Doorify system, you get a listing health report. And when you click the listing health report, you get this information about how your listings are different than the listings that are actually performing.
So a lot of tactics, and last night, the event was tremendous. You had a room full of top producers in your market who were really interested in what you were doing. Everything that you did up there, that last night, the demonstrations were based on your MCP server, which is based on obviously a strategy where AI looms large. And I'm curious, again, focusing on the tactics and the value that you're bringing, like taking a step back and say, okay, we as an organization made a conscious decision to that. What got you to this point? Like, and what was that conversation at the board level like?
Stupid luck. When I got there, Bill, I was talking about this yesterday. I became quickly irritated that every single question I asked my staff, the answer to all questions were, we have to ask the vendor. And I lasted a week before I had a nervous breakdown. And I said, look, I have to have a copy of my data. I want my hands on it. I want fee simple ownership of my data. So we got all the data out of Paragon, out of ICE Mortgage Technology, Black Knight back then. We got all the data out of our association management system, out of M1, out of the North Carolina Real Estate Commission data set, Showing Time, Central Lock, every data I could find, right, comes into our data lake, and we put it out at Amazon Web Services and hired a contractor to build a RESO web API on top of it. And we were going to use it one day if there was a disaster, or, who knows, maybe we build an MLS product in the distant future, but it's there if we have to have it. Well, what is it now? Now it's our AI factory. And we didn't know we were building that when we were building it. But in order to have the ability to do what we did last night, you have to have an API access to your property data, which is what Spark gives us. And now we have a really convenient way to get to that It's kind of densely written API. Then the MCP makes it just easier for liberal arts majors to get to that, and realtors. And I think that's what we told people last night, that the future of prop tech is bespoke, as I wrote recently. And I think that's about seeing that these resources are out there, engagement data from the MLS, we just collect that from everywhere, and the property data that you're also getting through us. One day, maybe you'll get the listings from the Doorify MCP server and not primarily from the FBS server. We have a vendor doing that for us now. We believe MLSs will stand up their own. There's no reason not to do that now. Today, ours has 8 tools, and it's all about engagement.
I did not mean
property
to
listing.
like walk into this corner, but even Kurtis is here with VoiceFlip. You are a VoiceFlip client. You have Artie is attached to your ecosystem.
Yeah,
and I'm just
up and
curious,
running
like
alongside these things we're talking about.
asking Kurtis's question, because normally what Artie does is it's trained on a knowledge base, and that knowledge base is member support focused. I wonder like what the opportunities are for Artie to be plugged into this MCP server you just described. Like you have this gigantic data lake. If you had your own, and I'm going to say proprietary because it's not an open AI or an Anthropic product, it's a product of VoiceFlip. What can a language model that you control offer you? And is that too big of a question for you have like 3 minutes left?
It's a ginormous question.
Yeah, but Kurtis, like
Go
you
ahead,
answer
Matt.
that question.
Oh, I have to answer it. Instant access to all your data. Like ask a question, you get an answer right away. Through natural language, through a bunch of different communication tools. It's cool. Matt wants to know who's the top 10 performers. He just sends a text to Artie and gets an answer back. I mean,
yeah, I think on the help desk, right, Kurtis, if somebody's calling in, we built this ourselves recently. If somebody calls in, we use Zoom, and it's got the caller ID. It looks up their MLS record. We can see about who is this we're talking to, right? Their ticket history is pulled in from Jira Service Management. If we pull in the Doorify data, and I can say, this person has a lot of traffic on Zillow, and they're calling with a Zillow issue. So I'm going to know right now that this is really impactful for them. Maybe I can see that their Zillow traffic just fell off a bunch. And that's probably what they're calling about.
Yeah, they were rotating their images.
Yeah, so it's just informing that support representative to be more knowledgeable about who that is.
Yeah, just very cool. Like the thinking is knowing what VoiceFlip's like workflow is when establishing a new account, like the knowledge base. I mean, this nebulous concept that most MLSs maintain.
Well, that's the hard part, right?
Like, what is your knowledge base? Well, your knowledge base is a data lake, and most MLS's knowledge base is a series of documents related to how do I log into Paragon, and the distance between those two things, I think, is where opportunity rests. But I wanted to throw that at Kurtis before we publish this thing and say that that's a natural progression. If you wanted Artie to be doing more exciting things, you throw the data lake as a layer.
Yeah. Matt, I have a question. Do you restrict what agents can do with AI on the MLS system? Because you mentioned that they get more engagement if they rotate their images every once in a while, and then they get more engagement if they start the price up somewhat high and then start dropping it. Can I not just create an AI tool that does that automatically for all your agents, charging $10 a month? And
I think it should be 90, but so we have product plans. Kurtis, you've anticipated one of them with that question. And my whiteboard, if you could see my whiteboard over there, one of the things on it says auto tuner. Bill, you were telling me, what was it? The ink bomb. What's it called? The data.
What?
Stain.
Data dye.
Data dye. Yeah.
Data dye.
So that's a metaphor, right, for staining the data like they stain money in a bank robbery. So that's, I was making a metaphor out of something and forgot what I was talking about with the bank robbery. I love when I do that.
We were talking about agents using AI in the MLS system, and then you had a whiteboard for products you were building.
Oh yeah, so auto tuner is like our deliverable is the coaching, and I think that our product, it's called List Pulse. We're announcing that our new product is going to be that on the dashboard, and you can look at that report and get listing by listing advice on what to do. Or you can, and in addition to that, you can say, that's a lot of work. On a listing by listing basis, why doesn't the MLS make these changes for me within these parameters? So this is an agentic response to a marketing outcome that we believe we can deliver with if they'll make these changes to the listing as it goes through its life cycle. And because we have better access to knowing when that photo should be changed and which one's getting clicked on and which one's not, we have the ability to really do that in a fairly sophisticated way. And I think, to make the point, your app would too. Any app that has the listing broker's key to make changes to that listing could absolutely do exactly as what we described. I'm just saying the MLS may have a product in the mix there.
Do you? I have a bunch of questions related to this, just because
isn't that cool?
Super interesting. But now, if everyone was using this, what would you call it? The one that auto tuner or whatever you want to call
it? Auto tuner, yeah. Just
auto-tuner.
yeah.
So if everyone was using auto tuner, the Doorify MLS, you guys have what, 25,000 subscribers, something like that?
14, but we're
14.
getting there.
Okay, close enough. Look, I'm off by 10. If all 14,000 subscribers were using auto tuner, would the efficiency and effectiveness of auto tuner decrease, you think, over?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I think there's an economy of scale there, or maybe a negative network effect.
Yeah.
But we'd have to see, right? I think if we did it by listing by listing, then people are going to not do it for some that they don't want to pay for. Maybe, like, you don't stage everything, you don't get professional photography of every listing. It's low price, and I don't really know how that's going to work. And maybe somebody will come along and say, this is a free feature if you buy this other thing that you get from us for 10 grand. I can see that happening. And then my feature would probably go away one day. I had to go to Huntsville. One day, this is just going to come with your subscription. That's just how MLS works. It just fixes that stuff for you.
Well, look, Matt, thanks. Go to your next call. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, man.
I'll see you in a minute.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, so it's awesome. It's like the drop in, throw a little knowledge into the podcast, and then
just take off, right?
It's freaking rock star status.
Would have been awesome if he was on a motorcycle and just peeled out.
His hoodie blowing in the breeze.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I guess the moral of that story is that, like, for MLS executives that you and I end up, talking to, in the various aspects that we approach the industry, is there's a lot of people who are trying to figure out how best to insert AI into existing workflows. And Matt has just completely invented one, and is like off and running with it. It's just, there's no, the assumption is that we're going to start building platforms. He said Claude like 12 times, So what's your take on, you asked an important question about agent limitations of AI. We're always looking at ways to, I guess, pump the brakes on some of the gas pedal. And we just saw a lot of gas pedal. Like, what's your take on what you just heard?
I mean, from someone who likes building technology, I love hearing people like Matt speak, because that's what they want to do. They're curious. They see a problem and they want to find a solution to these problems, or they invent problems and try to find solutions to these problems, which is also super cool. And that, that helps innovation, right? That's what innovation is all about. And you need innovators. You desperately need innovators in any industry to push everyone else, because if people like Doorify aren't leading and trying to pull everyone else along behind them, then the industry is going to stagnate, right? As vendors, we can do that a little bit. We can create awesome new tools and, all that fun stuff. But when they see an MLS building their own tools, building their own data lakes, adopting AI, then everyone else is a little less scared to do that same thing, right? And it's incredibly important. Innovation can't just come from one source. Can't just come from the vendors. They got to come from everyone in the industry. So I love it. They operate as a startup, and that's cool. I think that's really neat.
And I'll tell you that what I took away from last night, Matt was very excited with his team. That's a lot of hard work up there. You had screens and screens and pages of data and lots of lots of hard work. What I saw, standing in the background and being able to observe like the totality of the experience was I saw a room full of his top producers. And these are people who work for the biggest names in the industry. And each of those brands represented in that room also have a presence with AI. They have departments of people who are trying to develop the same levels of intel, at the same, trying to produce creativity, trying to create more value, trying to create more, and I think that was a lesson for me too. It's like you and I have personal relationships with AI to make our own productivity improve, but we also have a corporate AI presence as well. And then there's other, like everything we touch now. There's intelligence to be had. So there's not just one source, and I think it's a responsibility the MLS has, to their broker members. Like, hey, we're going to do this. You guys are doing this too. We should share notes, and ultimately this is a collaboration across like quite a few different boundaries. It isn't just like you're not going to get your AI intel or your value out of AI from one place.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you have to share notes. I think AI is progressing so quickly that if people aren't sharing what they're learning, we're going to be left behind, and left behind by, people who want to do nefarious things to us using AI, right? Like an
Yeah.
MLS is more or less an open ecosystem where you can add whatever data. Then I think if people like Doorify aren't innovating and, inviting all their top producers and, all the other vendors and everything to be in these conversations, then, we risk things, risk opening ourselves up to attacks or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well,
So it's
the last
good.
thing I wanted to share
Yeah.
is, and thanks, Matt, for being on again. I was going to ask him for permission to say this, but since he's not here, I'm just going to do it and ask for forgiveness, which is, well, I was watching him work yesterday in his home office. He had a screen up, and it was his entire team, because he has remote workers. He has a team member in Europe. He has team members in other parts of the country and the world. And on his dashboard was all of his teams, what time it was, where they were, what the weather was, where they were. And he pulled a specific team member up, and he had their LinkedIn profile, was the API from LinkedIn was being pulled into this dashboard. And so knew a little something about them. I mean, his team is not so large that he doesn't know that, intuitively, but when you have a meeting with someone, it's really cool to know what time of day it is and what the weather it is. And, just a reason to maintain a connection with people who you don't share an office with. And he built all that himself using Claude. And I'm like, dude, that is the coolest thing. And I wouldn't say it's easy. I would say it's a lot easier, than it was. And Matt doesn't code. Like he said, he's a liberal arts major. And those are the kinds of things that I think, just kind of revolutionize the way we work with each other. Just a very simple thing that maintains a connection with the people he works with. And it was freaking cool. It was awesome.
That is super cool. We should get that for voice flip. It sounds like
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some other stuff on there that I'll share later, but like just the things that they do in their team
Yeah.
that keeps them, little funny things like and it maintains the culture of the company by keeping that intelligence all under in one space, which is very cool.
It's super neat.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I had was to bring my brother in. What'd you do?
I did nothing. I just showed up.
You came back from Spain. You're
Yeah,
recharged.
woo! I missed a recording apparently while I was gone. I apologize for that, guys, by the way.
No worries. We're trying to do weekly now.
Yeah. What are we scared of or excited by?
Well, yeah, I'm continually, we're fighting I don't know. I'm not going to get too cynical about this, but there's some things going on in the world that I'm really unhappy about. And when you look on Reddit, which is where I get most of my news because there's so many different sources coming together for one thing, there's a lot of information that is clearly AI generated that people are swallowing whole,
And
videos, photos, and stuff. And that's a terrifying thing.
Yeah, it's scary to me when, some you can't tell are AI. Like some are very well done AI videos, photos, whatever it is. And you really have to look at them to tell that they're wrong, like really examine them. But some are super obvious and people fall for it. And those obvious ones that people fall for, that scares me for a whole different reason. Are we that stupid as a species? Probably.
Right.
Maybe. Who knows?
Gullible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're predisposed to want to believe a thing that we want to believe,
Yeah.
and so if it fits with our worldview, then we're very likely to take that as truth, and that's
Yeah.
a scary thing. I'm excited about all the stuff that we just covered the last 30 minutes of this podcast, but I don't want to end on a negative note, but I'll just tell you that I'm pretty worried about the sophistication of models being able to generate untruths.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to go anymore, because I was going to even bring it down deeper and make it more depressing.
No,
Yeah, dude, should I?
I don't know. I mean, I need something optimistic to go into the weekend with.
Oh,
please.
okay. I got nothing.
I'm going to go to the Jameson distillery next week, and I'm going to book it myself.
That's
apparently.
awesome. Yeah, you should use ChatGPT to figure out how to taste Scotch properly.
Yeah,
You should do some experiments in there. Pour some Scotch on like a white cloth and take pictures with ChatGPT and see if it actually gives. I don't know how to do anything Scotch related.
Well, this
Get it
is
to
whiskey.
analyze it.
Scotch is over in Scotland. The Irish would be offended if you call what they do Scotch.
Sorry. What is it there?
Yeah,
Whiskey?
it's whiskey.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I mean, to me, it's kind of all the same thing, but to them, it's a very big deal.
Yeah, it's fair. Less peaty, I guess, in Ireland.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's the difference. Peat bog fires and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's much more exciting than if you bring us down in episode 10. We'll have a major downer episode 10. Everybody can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm super glad you're back. We really missed you. Really glad you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. No, I'm not actually. That's a lie. It's a total lie. I'm sorry. But we'll see everyone. Hopefully, all our 5 listeners. We'll hopefully see them all in at Minneapolis in a week,
Yeah,
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And yeah, right. That's all I got.
See you guys at AEI, and we'll also see you at RISO just shortly after that. But in the meantime, have a great next week. I'm not going to be doing this next week, so we'll catch up. Maybe we should do our first remote at AEI. We should do that.
We should. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's book that. Let's figure it out.
We'll let Clark figure it out.
Clark will figure it. He figures everything.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thanks.
Cool, Biddle.
Talk
Take
to
it
you
easy,
soon.
buddy.
Have a good weekend.
You too, Ben.
Yeah.
Bye.